manifestation, and personification of everything. And I do mean everything that our holy prophet brought to make us a nation. I want to welcome our Moorish kin to another grand Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate session. I'm your host instructor, Dr. Shahid Imani Mohadi Shabazz. My ancient Comedian high name being the same as Dr. Shedawa Minti El Muhajid Shepsuel. And we definitely have, as always, a grand drawing to bring on the manifest to our Moorish kin. And we just want to encourage our family, to continue to endure, as you have already been endured. This is a powerful demonstration that we have. And all of those who are in participation, we honor you. Praise be to the great God Allah for all that you do, and all that you will do. This is a powerful measure. Just being able to work together side by side, shoulder to shoulder, toe to toe, and bring our people their history from our perspective as opposed to somebody else's. So what we want to do is we would actually like to go into a reading, as we always do, from our Book of Fire. And we just encourage our Moorish kin that are listening to take heed to this information, because there's nobody out here that's going to give you this information, as we are giving it to you. Nobody here that's going to go in depth and really give our people this information, which will be for them, as opposed to information that has been for everyone else. Now you can have your own history. You can have everything it is and participate in writing your own history. That's a whole nother measure as well. Prophet Noble Ali told the Moors, when we get the pen in our hand, well, we know what to do with it. He told us basically to write the history, and put our signature, so to speak, on that demonstration. And that's what we're doing. We're not here to promote the ideology of anyone outside of ourselves, but we know that there's a lot of information that we have to sift through in order to bring the truth to our people. Unfortunately, we are here to do that work, and we are willing to do that work. And we don't, we'll just say we're unapologetic when it comes to that. But, we on the manifest to uplift and teach our people. That's what I say. So what I want to do is get our family to read from page 374 over here to 370. Well, actually, 374 to 378. We can get our family to volunteer for that. All is well.
Islam, I volunteer.
Okay, Islam. That is Brother Marvin Edwards Bay, and I hear our Brother Bati Bay. You can go all the way over Marvin Edwards Bay to page 375, 376, and stop above the 7 degrees of self-mastery. Islam and Brother Bati Bay. You can actually go all the way over to the top of 378. We'll just get you two brothers to come forth and read, because it ain't a whole lot here, just that portion there. Islam?
You want me to stop before
you stop. That's right. Moors in prostration, yes or no? Above that.
Islam.
That's 378. Islam?
Okay. Islam.
Gratitude.
Islam, shall I begin?
Yes, sir.
Good gratitude. Yeah, family, I'm Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay. Praise the Lord, so I began reading. Islamism by the numbers. The true mystery system of Egypt with the Noble Drew Ali and Egyptian adept master called Islamism is founded upon the science of numbers. Men comprehend the dynamics and origin of infinity by understanding numbers. The equation science of numbers gives rise to all seen and unseen worlds. Geometry, algebra, arithmetic are the thrones for astronomy, medicine, architecture, calendars, arts, religion, creation, civilization, order of the universe, and harmonies of life. All are contingent upon numbers. The mystery system of Egypt acquires its strength from the 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. These are the strong numbers because they cannot be divided evenly, unlike the 1 upon itself, unlike the 2, 4, 6, and 8. Here are a few examples of the creative powers of those positive numbers. The 1, origin, creator, causeless cause, rootless root. The 3, there are always 3 steps on the master's carpet. The triune law, wisdom, will, and love. Egyptian, initiation, illumination, and perfection. Yehoshua, belief, faith, and fruition. Juali, member, sheik, and adept. Mastery, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Freemasonry, apprentice, fellow craft, and master mason. Christianity, Islam's natural enemy, is structured in illusions of the 3-step Egyptian mastery system. Its European churches assert the Trinity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. This God has only one begotten Son named Yehoshua, who was created in Rome's Vatican with pure European features. These are just too many gods to serve. This man-made threesome is colloquially known as the white man. They are made in the likeness and image of European interests. Freemasonry, the masterful liberal arts degree of Christian Science, and likeness and image of European interests. Freemasonry, the masterful liberal arts, I just read that, and the chief protector of the Christian creed, also functions upon a semblance of the Egyptians' initiation, illumination, and perfection. The 3 degrees in all of Freemasonry is under the auspices of apprentice, fellow craft, and master mason. See Freemasonry. Here, in the night lodges, Masons secretly don the ancient Moorish diadem, the fez, that Muslim men have worn openly and freely for thousands of years. The 5 highest principles: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Senses: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. Organs: head, right arm, right leg, left arm. Elements: ethereal, fire, water, air, land. Ruling planets: Venus, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter. North Star: 5 pentagrams, 72 degrees each, equal 360 degrees. Ancient Promethean Egyptian mystery system, or the 7 parts of the 7. Ancient Promethean Egyptian mystery system. First degree, Pastaforus, medicine and science. Second degree, Neochorus, geometric energies, shapes, sculptures, designs. Third degree, Melanophorus, science of non-polarized energies, e.g., time, finite duration between life and death. Fourth degree, Christophorus, inherent laws of growth, relativities from light and sound. Example given: vegetation, music, colors, crystals, and metals. Fifth degree, Belahat, science of nature and alchemic laws, logic, and the philosophy of transmutation and realization of simplicity from the most complex. Sixth degree, astronomers, the manipulation of the cosmic powers in harmony with the human body and other living things. The Polaris interaction balance with the body and the galaxies. The study of stimulative or sedative ethers. Okay. Seventh degree, Propheta, the wisdom of God and man, the right of Emmanuel, adept and prophethood, conquest of self, God realization, the Christ. These are the 7 degrees of the ancient Egyptian mystery system. The 7 represents the totality of divine creation. The ancient ones developed the curriculum for their 7 degrees from the completed circle of creation. Yep. There were there were 7 days in the circle, which totals everything made. Each day marked the completion of an ethereal life form from its alpha to omega. There are only 7 days in a year. They are Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Question number 101. There are 7 creative spirits with their 7 ethereal planes. The infinite thoughts of Allah, which created everything that ever was, is, or ever more to be. The ancient Hebrew called these thoughts Elohim. The Adepts called them the 7 eyes of Allah. Man calls these ether planes the planes of protoplasm, earth, plant, beast, man, angel, and cherubim. Surah Quran 11, 19 to 38. There are 7 chakras sealed within the human body. These chakras are fixed from the base of the spine upright through the heart of the mind. Yehoshua said man couldn't resurrect until the fix is solved. Most Holy Quran 17, verse 37. The ancient Siddha gurus call these the celestial body of lights. Each must be lightened with wisdom. See third eye. There are also 7 sounds on the master music scale. All the audibles heard by the ears of man are the summation of these sounds. 7 colors in the spectrum. These constitute everything seen by human eyes. Without these colors, the human sentinels are useless. The 7 senses for the conscious man. 5 below the eyebrows, sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch, and 2 above the eyebrow, intuition and telepathy. 7 degrees in the adept chamber of the Morris Science Temple of America, AC of the MST of A, third heaven, question 56. The degrees of high consciousness in Drew Ali's third heaven are identical to the ancient Egyptian mystery system developed by the first African gods to reform in flesh. This origin is held by the old Hebrews as the story of Adam and Eve. Noble Drew Ali brought these degrees of God attainment in the missing 18 years of Yehoshua's life, omitted from the Bible. The lessons are found in his life works and teachings of Yehoshua by Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali. See index. Islam. Okay.
Islam, praises and none is already given. And 7 degrees of self-mastery to the divine ministry. First degree, sincerity, chapter 14. Second degree, justice, chapter 15. Third degree, faith, chapter 16. Fourth degree, philanthropy, chapter 17. Fifth degree, heroism, chapter 18. Sixth degree, love divine, chapter 19. Seventh degree, ministry of death, divine ministry, chapter 20, chapter 21. We cannot omit the Aquarian age as the seventh of the time, known and prophesied by the ancient Moorish scientists, which would follow the 2,000-year Piscean age. The Piscean age, symbolized by the sign of the fish, represents the period when man's consciousness would travel by seas and waterways. The number of the Piscean age was six. The number of the Aquarian age is seven, and it represents the time when man's consciousness would travel by air and other ethereal planes. It would do well to note that true Roman Catholic Mass is based upon seven sacraments: baptism, reconciliation, Eucharist, confirmation, marriage, ordination, and unction, anointing of the sick. But its Christian splinter groups, e.g., Protestants, Lutherans, Methodists, etc., went back to the six, the body of Christ, blood, and wine. The original seven degrees are the ancient god man Ish and the goddess Isha, training lessons of the ancient Moorish in African holistic civilization. These original his and her lessons of self mastery, which all initiates upon completion of these holy instructions were called gods and goddesses. See Adam and Eve. Those who titled themselves as white gods without these courses in divinity are impostors and Moorish imitators. The Moorish are the true founders of Islam, Hotep, Islamism. Note, all things created and governed by Allah, the one derived by the three, wisdom, will, and love, directed by the holy breath of the five principles of actions, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. All rest upon the seven. When man is fully conscious of himself, then he and his creator are in fact one. The deification of man now brings us from one through the three, five, and seven to the nine. The nine is reentry. Nine is the triune three times. According to ancient science, the nine is symbolic of reentry. The nine is the conscious rebirth of the God man, when the God man of truth attains unto himself, and Allah is all. The nine is the last whole number before new life, life everlasting. Nine is man leaving the perpetual realms of Y to enter his natural state, divine infinity. This numerical markers man's this numerically marks man's final use for the illusions of time, space, and calculations. The number nine and the goddess. The woman also symbolized the life encompassing power of nine. She sits upon the holy throne of goddess when touched by God. From this exalted station, in 9 months, the goddess alone can create and build a temple for Allah without the sound of a hammer or use of a nail. The temple is called man. Man means thinker. In Freemasonry, the Moorish goddess is called the widow. This is because Masons are those disguised as the three ruffians that have knocked her African god Harem in the head, leaving him civilly dead. See Freemasonry. Today, at best, this goddess of the Nile, nine, being alone without her husband, man, or God, is the only widow among the nations of the earth. In the United States and its territories, the new African widow is colloquially spoken of as the single mom, or my baby mom, or self-proclaimed bitch. Three single moms. Nevertheless, this widow is another Western misnomer because man cannot die. The spirit man is one with Allah. And while Allah lives, man cannot die. The human seed that came forth from the heart of Allah, the husbandman of everything that is, threw forth his human seed into the soil of soul. He became the Lord of all the kingdom of soul. Thus, there can be no widow because Allah is the husbandman. More Holy Quran. No other women on planet Mud divinely inherits the title goddess, save the queens from Africa. The only reason bitch is applied to her is in the use. The only reason why it's applied to her in the USA is because in science, a bitch is an unprotected female of any species. Her god man has been displaced and has no current jurisdiction over her or their children. The 9 being triune times 3 is further illustrated by the 3 stages times 3 degrees of the perfection of man, the deification of man. Allah equals wisdom plus will plus love. Prophet equals initiation plus illumination plus perfection. Man equals belief plus faith plus fruition. Through these 3 steps times 3 degrees, the ancient ones perfected the mystery system of Egypt. It was so perfectly developed until it became known as the only straight pathway of perfection, salvation, redemption, or religion. It is the holistic philosophy of these sciences which became the way of life for the ancient Moors over 25,000 years ago. This became the first religious creed that was taught in degrees to the initiates over a period of 2 to 3 years exoteric or 12 to 18 years esoteric. Those who were initiated by circumcision and completed the first level of self-mastery received the title of sheikh or adept. Graduates of the higher degrees received the titles of God, prophet, Christ, Messiah, and their life's works were called divine ministry. Moses, Abraham, Boaz, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah, Joseph, John, and Yehoshua, Issa, all received their prophethood from the same Egyptian mystery system. Some, e.g., Melchizedek and Yehoshua, were of virgin birth of the Adeptus and received the highest God degree called Christ. All prophets and Christ were distinguished with their own symbol of perfected man. Moses received the staff, David the star, Yehoshua the circled 7, and Noble Ali the circled scimitar and star. Each part of a symbol represents a degree of perfection. The logos is the perfect word. The circle is the perfect symbol, and the 7 is the perfect number. Chapter 13, 2 to 5. This is the full lotus of God in man, also taught by the Siddhas, guru masters. The holy prophet Noble Ali brought the Egyptian mystery system in the highest degree ever known to man and bestowed it upon his people, the Moorish Americans. For the first time in 3 ages, 6,000 years, have these lessons been given to an entire nation of people by their ancient forefathers. He divinely instructed the Moorish Americans. There is no one who is able to change man from the descended nature of his forefathers. Moorish Holy Quran 47:11. Being their prophet, his greatest task is to start them to thinking. This ancient system is the old-time religion called Islamism. Question 17 to 18. It is not in conflict with the perfecting of your religion. In the great Quran of Muhammad, as brought to his sinful polytheistic people of Mecca, Arabia. In fact, Islamism is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca for the teachings and instructing all Moorish Americans, etc. Moorish Holy Quran 45:1. Islam is a perfected segment of Hotep, Islamism. This is the old-time religion which Christians sing for. The Moorish, who were the ancient Moabites from the land of Canaan and the founders of the holy city of Mecca, Moorish Holy Quran 45:2, are the true Sunni Muslims. The word Sunni means original, and Muslims are those who submit their will to the will of the great God Allah. The Moorish are the founders of the first religious creed, Islamism, historically known as the 3 steps on the master's carpet, the ancient Comedian mystery system. These degrees, once placed upon the 3-step ladder of salvation, belief, faith, and fruition, would raise the consciousness of the initiate to the wisdom of self, the highest self. Through the knowledge of the lower self, the illusion of the world, which are concerned with time, one would become a mastermind, adapt with the grace of God Allah. This true education is the definition of the word saved, which is the root of salvation. Anyone who claims to be saved and is not free with these true knowledge of themselves is in feigned redemption of Maya. They are still slaves to sin. Again, written upon the sacred temples and walls of ancient pyramids are the words Sultanate, man know thyself. The ultimate goals of the Egyptian mystery system and Moorish science, Islamism, are the deification of man. This is the most misunderstood lesson in the Moorish American curriculum. Yet the value of all their virtues, standards, and principles rest squarely upon mastering this first degree. Drew Ali was the first to bring the ancient principle of Sultanate to them, declaring in the voice of their forefathers to first know thyself, and thy father God Allah. Prophet Yehoshua, born in Bethlehem of Judah in the house of David, became an Egyptian Adeptus Christ during the 18-year period of his life not found in the Bible. The main reason he was so misunderstood was because he was born during the Piscean age, but his life, works, and teachings were the spiritual bridge from man to Allah. It would be 2,000 years before the human family would realize what he has done. All men must do. This is also the reason Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali could not bring a new religion. He brought the ancient science of Islamism, as it was also revealed to him in Egypt. The same revelation given to the Holy Prophet Muhammad by the angel Gabriel in Arabia. Drew Ali simply returned again to the Moorish that which is theirs through inheritance and divine guidance. Moorish Americans often refer to these sacred teachings as the seven great wonders and mysteries. Even in congregational prayer, they stand with their eyes open, raised arms, with 5 fingers extended on the left hand and 2 fingers on the right, leveled at the eyes. A more diadem head then becomes the world beyond the circle of the sun. 22. This is the prayer stand of the Moorish initiates. All 10 fingers extended with feet at a 45-degree angle is the prayer stance of the adept. Islam. I would like to turn this meeting back over to our teacher, comedian Adept Islam.
Hey, Islam, can you hear me, Grand Man?
Islam.
Yeah, I called myself resetting the internet earlier. Islam. But let us rise again upon the 7 and give all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah. You know, and we welcome our Moorish kin to this grand drawing. You know, and we are dealing with in our E.A.R.S research session this morning, understanding the MEDU and Kemet, which is the language of the Egyptians. Now, before we go forth, I want to give honors to all of those who are out there in the audience. I see the brother Yasha bin Israel there. Honors to you, brother. Noble Brian, peace and love as well. Jay, peace and love. Avenge the ancestors, peace and love. Then I see somebody here, Facebook user. Unidentified. Islam family, are you saying before I share your teaching, I should wait to see my name on the board? I don't understand what you're asking, family. You should be able to share, you know, this particular link if you're watching it. You know, Islam. So also honors Marquise L. just coming in. Praise be to Allah. Yeah, we're dealing with understanding the MEDU and Kemet. We're still dealing with the Poe document. You know, I looked into a few areas as well concerning the IKR, you know, or the Akir, you know, sometimes spelt, I can see a connection even between K-E and R, Akir. But I found an IKR with different markers, but that's neither here nor there because we really don't care about the markers, other than the fact that we connect certain measures and we look at them and we compare certain drawings. But we did find a definition with the IKR that we was looking for in our last session, and it means excellent as well. So, you can see it also in IQR. We pulled that up saying the same thing. We know the QR can be also synonymous with the IKR. Or sometimes you may see it as IHR to a certain degree based on who it is that composed the dictionary. And so get used to that more when you run into certain things. In fact, I'm going to share my screen right now what we found in IKR, but we can't see it in the tool. The molar tool don't give it. And this has to do with, I guess, what you would call the confusion around this special term. And maybe some other things that come up. We just going to show you that IKR is indeed related to the word excellent. As we seen our Moorish kin bring it forth in their line. We want to get more involved in the hands-on, though, dealing with this Poe document in a second. Islam, is my screen shared, Moorish kin?
Islam.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and there it is right there, the IKR meaning excellent or splendid. But when I went to G26A, this is not in the actual dictionary section up here, the G26. At least I'm not seeing it. Well, look, I see the symbol there, but for some reason they don't have the same connection to the letter. Because I see the marker here, like I said. Let me show you right here. We're going to go back to that. See what I'm saying? They got the marker here, but they got, and I think this is on the one who composed this dictionary. Maybe they got thrown off or confused, but for some reason they keep putting the G26 as the same symbol. But I didn't see the Iker here in the way that it was here. And mostly all this stuff here is real accurate over here. I look at this that our brothers, our Chinese, our Asian brothers did. I think they did a grand job in what they do. But, they had the same symbol here, but for some reason, and this could have been a mistake on the part of the person who composed this. It should be over in the other section because this is kind of out of place here to be in between these two letters here. Wouldn't you agree, Moorish kin? We're looking at it, the letter D, and then all of a sudden this pops up in between it.
Islam, I agree.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is way
so do I.
Go ahead. Yeah, so we can see it here, and then under the other dictionary, it was on the IQR. So the IQR had a connection to it, to the word excellent. So we can see it, that's neither here nor there. That's what we here for, to correct it. But definitely with this sitting over here in this section of the D's and just dropping out of nowhere off in here, and that's just going to show you, you got to be careful when you're compiling things. So we won't make them type of mistakes because we're going to keep the I's what the I's supposed to be and the D what the D supposed to be. And this is one of the reasons why it took so long trying to find this stuff. And I do look at this particular document, though. This Vigus is more extensive than the others, though. It's like 2,568 pages in here. So there's some value to this demonstration. But this is just showing if we may have a few hiccups here and there. Who knows? That may be the only one. And this is done in a lot of writings. We'll see it in many different books where you have misprints. So that's normal. That don't necessarily take away from the information. But like I said, we here to correct these things anyway. This is where we found the IQR at in this particular dictionary, the Ancient Egyptian Dictionary. So we already have this one, no need to go back over that, but all of these tools can be used. This one though did correspond with at least its Unicode, you know, and linking back up. Like I said, you'll find some Unicode here as well that would go, you know, to its source. Let's see something real quick. I'm gonna just type in this random G27. So we see what G27 is. Here, I want to blow this up too to make sure our family can see this a little better. Okay, let's see. There it is right there. DSR G27. They have unknown there. That's all right. We ain't looking for the definition of the word. We're gonna go over here. G27. Every other word checked out though. Because remember, this was a line that was coming from our molar tool. Okay, so this checked out right when we type that Unicode in. So yeah, that's basically a misprint, Morris Ken. One put IKR in the shuffle, but it definitely means excellent. We've seen it whether it's IQR, IKR, it still means the same thing. And so when we go back to the PO document, you know, it is us who are here using the molar tool to navigate through this thing. In the Kemetic community, this ain't been done when it comes to dealing with the hieratic language. Nobody out there is doing this but us. Praise be to Allah and the Prophet for guiding us from on high and giving us the ability to be able to recognize how to navigate through these things, because it could be a lot worse than this. We could be trying to deal with hieratic and not have anything to go on, you know, being that there has been so little produced in that special area. There's another measure that we have here too as well that I will point out that is good. It may not have every expression in it, but this particular measure here is well. You go back to your August 5th E.A.R.S session, all of these things are there. And this is the hieratic paleography introductory to late Egyptian. And when you go into this particular drawing here, it's basically showing you the different strokes, just like some of the other books, the molar text that was showing you the different eras and the times. But I like the way the detail in these texts, because all we doing right now as we move through these documents, you know, dealing with the lines and the transliterations that were put out here, the various transliterations, this is to, again, sharpen us up on these special mentions. For example, in this document, these again are strokes. Now these strokes actually go again to the molar tool. Want to give honors to that, you know, for them putting that together. I'm telling you, because can you imagine us, you know, having to just go through these demonstrations and not have that as special tool? You know, it would be real primitive. We'll have to do a little bit more. So for example, let's see the Unicode and connection. These are strokes. It's showing different strokes represent different words, and some what we would call trilaterals, bilaterals. This would be a bilateral here, 2 letters. You know, anytime you see 3 together, that's a trilateral. Okay, let's see here. U28. Okay, let me go back. I already actually got it open up here. Let's see what U28 brings us in the world of the molar tool. And you can do this. Okay, we got the search. See? It's checking out. We see the same letter here. Let's see. We want to make sure that we connect to the actual word. We see DNA here. That's DNA. Let us scroll down through here a little bit more. We already see the letter is there, the stroke. And then we see the various different variations of the stroke based on who wrote it. I just want to go down through here and see if anything else is being identified with. Okay, we see NH. We see WD and A, which is Weta Seneb. Anquajet Seneb. Yeah, that's what that is. Oh man, I ain't know I was gonna run across that. But look, that's the actual writing for Uncle Jetson right there, Moors. You know, so when you see that, you automatically know the expression of this here, and that's being put together. You know, and these are dealing with the trilaterals or triliterals, so to speak. There it is again, Uncle Jetson, because that D, remember, with the line under it actually means D and J. We established that last week. So this is the symbol for Uncle Jetson, and it's being wrote through many different variations. You know, and these are the markers that they use here for that. Okay, same thing. It went Uncle Jeb Seneb all the way out. So when we go back over here to, where is that? I was just, oh, I forgot it's over here actually. That's what Jet basically. With Jet, they connecting it, and we see this aspect here, and that's just one of the letters. Uncle Jet Seneb. Actually, that's Seneb right there. You know, so we can see this. This is a powerful tool to use as well, family. You know, Uncle Jet Seneb. Powerful. U28. Let's go over here now, real quick, and just see something else. I want to see let's see, can we find the U28 over here in the dictionary and see what we get? Because we know Uncle Jet Seneb mean life, health, and prosperity be upon you. And this is only one word with Jeb, the U28. Okay, we already know the Ankh represent life. Matter of fact, there it is right there. It's being included. The Ankh represents the living in life and so forth and so on. We see that, okay? This must be the ancestors guiding this too, because everything falling spot on right now. So far. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to find the U28. I don't have a this document. If it was in my Microsoft, I would be able to probably Google it and go to the word like y'all do the little highlighting thing. But I'm gonna have to figure out how to put this in there. Huh? Actually look like we actually over here what Jet is. Maybe.
I see a U28.
Okay, where is it? Right here. Yeah,
About
that's it right there.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm in
Yep.
the right area then. Okay, so U28, U28, U28. So we see a connection to that. I'm just trying to find the I was actually, it's still in the same area, prosperity and well-being. So we can see it right here. Life, health, and prosperity. There it is. Matter of fact, the whole statement right here. Ankh or Jet Seneb. See it right there. See how they spelling it different, Moorish King? See what I'm talking about? Instead of spelling Ankh A-K-H, right? A-N-K-H, right? And then they, instead of putting a J in there, you see they put Wad Seneb. You see how that is? And that's basically, and we see the marker right here for the same statement. The markers they put here, let's go back over here.
Is that a sound shift? That
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's sound shifting, but I don't think that they intending the sound shift. Some of these people, some of them putting it in there like made the best way they stated and put it without a thought. I don't think they even putting a thought in the sound shifting.
Yeah, because
like,
I opened
like
that
some of them
universal.
don't have knowledge of sound shifting. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, I was looking at the that universal writing modes. It says GKXGHG. So
That's
those
right.
are, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely sound shifting, but I don't think the authors of those dictionaries are aware.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? I think they just choosing what they choose from whatever dictionary they're dealing with. You know, meaning say if they were dealing with Gardenia's work and Gardenia wrote a certain way, then they'll do it that way. If they dealing with James P. Allen, or they dealing with whoever the person is that they drawing from, they taking on their expression, but not really going into the aspect of bothering to talk about sound shifting. You see what I'm saying?
Islam.
That's what I think that they are doing. But we are able to recognize the sound shift, you know, because we know what it is now, thanks to Brother Mustafa Gaddafi. You see what I'm saying? And that's why we did what we did, because you can go right there just like you did. Ain't nobody showed us this in the community. We had to make these connections ourselves, but being that we have the knowledge now, you know where to go. You see what I'm saying? And so go back and give those letters again that correspond again, brother. And this is coming from the book, Egyptian Writing Modes.
Islam. It's GKXGHG.
Islam. And we can see then why, like we spoke of the K and all of this type of stuff, the X, we can see the connect. Like right here, you just see AN, and this is actually KH. Let me blow this up. When you see that on the bottom there, that's where the Ankh come from, KH. And then this is the J here. Wajet is pronounced DJ, you know, Wajet Sanan. So now look here. When you go here into your S34, U28, S29, and then when we go back over here to this dictionary, you see it? S34, U28, S29, same thing. But in the sound shift, you see how they chose to write it. But that does not change the fact that this is the same word. And that's why we can go back to the word akir, ikir, you know, dealing with excellent, and look at it the same way. You see, and again, they gave a whole statement here, even though we started with one stroke in the document that I was showing you, and we're going to get a little more into that. May he live and be prosperous and healthy. Our life, health, and prosperity be upon you. And if we go down through here, this is where I was saying before, how you recognize connections between words. Even though the U28 is there in every word, you know, it don't necessarily mean U28 is the connection, you know, that's dealing with the one expression of the word wajet or wadao, as they're saying here. That's two different pronunciations. But what happens is, see the U28 present here, but you see storehouse. U28 present here because that's the Unicode in relation to dealing with the letter itself. Now, when you get into the actual statement here and you see the root of this word, wajat, wajah, wajah, you see prosperity. These are the words that are connected, you know, to each other, because we see they all have the same definition. We can group these in one particular group, from basically even from here, even the well-being and so forth and so on. And this is just dealing with, you know, of the palace and the official's title. But nevertheless, the main measure dealing with what being well-being, you know, prosperity. In other words, to do good and to prosperous is to have well-being, you know. So this is isolated. This is isolated. But you know what? We can actually probably include this dealing with the definition when it says sound of persons, you know, because to have or be sound within the person also has to deal with well-being and prosperity too. You know, so we can actually link all of these up together looking at the definition. And you look at it like almost like a thesaurus. You know, let's go into one, and I'm gonna give a prime example of what we're talking about. You know, we're gonna see if this one right here gives us. Okay, let's just put the word prosperity. Uh-oh. We're gonna put this in here, and it's gonna give you all the words as we already know, like we do all the time. We used to this, we got a lot of this in our teaching. That's why we say we're gonna take from the book of fire and the adept lessons and everything when it comes to us giving our definition. So here, prosperity, success, abundance, affluence, wealth, riches, capital, health, opulence. I mean, they got a whole bunch of definitions in here. Now we see this being demonstrated in the Arabic dictionary. And you go and pull up one word, they exhaust the meaning all the way until they can't exhaust it no more. So basically, that's how you build, up your lexicon or your dictionary, so forth and so on. You go into this demonstration, you find the basic meaning. We see what they are saying these particular things mean, and then we give our Moorish expression to it, Islam. And there it is again. We see the marker here. We see the expression of the marker. We see how they tried to bring it into connection with the actual hieratic. We don't get caught up in trying to make these things letters, symbols. We know our ancestors dealt with symbols, but they had a more metaphysical meaning for the symbols. So we ain't got to go into that special demonstration. Here's another expression of the same thing, a different item, but still expressing Unqua Jet Seneb as we already seen. And we were led here by this special expression by just dealing with the U28. So this is dealing with stroke sequences though. And you go through this book and you can see, just like in the molar tool, it's got the same expression, but I like it because these are well-developed strokes, and we can see the identification, we can ID, these things when we begin to try to go into certain documents and text. All these things going to be tools that we need when we start going into texts that have not been transliterated. That's why it's necessary that we condition our eyes, so to speak, in our mind. You see, this says Seneb Wajet Ankh, and they got it actually backwards here. See that? S29, U28, and S34. Prosperity, health, and life. Let's go over here in the S29 and see if we can find this right here. I don't know if we're going to find it or not. I'm just going to see because it may be in the dictionary, maybe not. Let's see. We're going to go to S29 and start it off. We already seen it. We know Unqua Jet Seneb is there. Let's see, can we find this S29? Yeah, okay. And see what we find. All right, now don't go that fast. One of the main things that we're going to end up doing too in the practice, is learning how to convert, these markers back to the hieratic. That's an easy thing because we got all the tools to be able to do it. All you need is a Unicode and a few dictionaries. And the more that we can find of these dictionaries, the better, because everybody has their own breakdown and definition that they give. And so it's always to have a good insight, to have a thorough understanding of these special demonstrations. Where you at, S29? I know you're in there somewhere. A little bit more. Come on. And they may have not have done that here because but this is the extensive area here. It may be even in the other one too as well. If not, it ain't no biggie. We understand what we're dealing with. But we will make note of all of these things when we begin to compile what it is that we have in mind as we are compiling them. S42, hold up, look like I seen an S29, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I saw one too.
It wasn't on the front. I definitely seen it. There it go right there. So, okay, I see. I can see the connection too right there. I see the marker that they had at the S29. So it is in here then. S29 is in here somewhere. Just give me a second. Bear with me. It got to be because that's the S letter, and I know they got some letter. There it go right there. All right, let's see. All right, we see the Seneb here, everyone, but that's just dealing with everyone, each one. We're going to go through this. We see S29 here. Let's go down through here a little bit more. That's it. See, that's what I'm saying. That's all they have here in this particular area here on that, but that ain't a big deal. It's just that they didn't. Oh, wait a minute. Uh-oh. Don't count them out. Okay, we may find it down here. Okay, that's S29. Be satisfied. Well, I was just getting ready to count them out. And see, I'm noticing in this particular demonstration here that they starting off with certain measures and then they jumping in between. Let's see, Sab. Let's see, Sanel. We're gonna keep going, take it a little bit at a time. Spiritualize the ceasing, glorified in tune. S29, force your forcefully. I wonder why they're going in between this 035 and the S29. I see it's a S expression. And that's probably what it is. When they put it together, they just put it together with S's. Okay, SIP, inspect, investigation, Sanu, ropes, rub out, noble, saw, wait for severe, obliterate, light and blue lesson. Okay. And this is basically going through the, okay. Okay. It's probably going to be at actually Seneb when it starts off. Okay, that's SBD, SSP, SFN. Okay, let's go. Okay, we're coming up on the N because I know N come after M in their little order. We ain't dealing with the abject order. This is a little order that they got right here. So the N is coming up. Okay, there you go, SE. So let's see. Do we get some Seneb up in here? I know we're going to get it, but is it going to give us the full sentence? There it is right there. Be healthy, be well, recover. So we can see that this demonstration is here, and it does actually, this is basically all you getting. You ain't getting the full sentence that they give it, an expression. Let me make sure that, because they do have all these expressions here. I'm going to see if they connect. Hold up. Go back up here. Okay. U28S34. Okay, U28S34. That's why the prophets say fix not suddenly, because I was getting ready to fix suddenly. But it don't have it in that order here. You know, with the U28, you know, it does have the connection though to the Seneb, and that's all they really give. So that's still good enough to see that there's a connection here. But all of these are actual tools, again, that no one has ever used in this way but us. So again, we see the marker that they have here in Seneb. There we see the actual letter here. So like I say, this is just showing you the different strokes, you know, that are expressed here. And we can actually go back to the molar tool and find this in the stroke as well. Let us go back over here real quick before we move on. Okay. It's at the bottom actually. Uncle Jet Seneb. Take this back over, scroll it down. And yeah, there it is right there. That's it. You got different expressions of it, but is definitely on the manifest. We can also see a connection in this one here as well. When we go back to this special stroke over here, just a different drawing of it. So these things we have to look out for and know that even if you see lines on the bottom connected, you know, it's still an expression of the same demonstration. You know, and you have to look at what's being said in whatever you transliterate when you transliterate it to make sense out of it. We can see the same thing if we look at any letters in here and we type it. Let's try this Y, and I'm just doing random picks here. Y4. We never really got into this particular text right here, you know, but it's a grand tool showing us the trilaterals and the bilaterals in the language. So let's try Y4 and see what it brings up over here in the tool. Okay, molar Y. Hold up, let me make sure I got that again. Yeah, that's Y4. Okay. We're going to get into the Poe document in a minute. The thing is about this here too, is that once we use this document and the tool together, it actually exposes errors that are made. Errors are not even necessarily errors, but, you know, where somebody been reaping, like the Grand Secretary of the State say, in a scanty way. So here we go, Y4 right here. We see all of the strokes here. Y4 here. We see Sha, actually Seka, because remember, Sekasis. This is like it's connect to writing. Sekashesh. Okay, so we already see the markers they have here. They have different expressions of this with this Y4, then it's coupled with Y3. So let us go back to the initial drawing that we have. Okay, there we go. That's our symbol here. This is the main one. We see the SS here. So the Y4 is connected directly to this particular expression, S and S. Sesh is what that is. Sesh. See the little divot on the top of it? Okay, so let us go back over here again to make sure we ID this same expression, because all we're doing is becoming familiar, you know, with the letters and so forth and so on. And there it is, right there on the top. See it here? But they actually have sekashesh, and this is a comma in between. So, you know, we can really still isolate the S and the SH. Sekashesh. Make me think about it, talking about some language as far as what I done heard. I could be off a little bit, but when I hear that seka and sesh, I'm thinking about language for some reason. Let me see here. I'm going to go over to our little dictionary, and that'll let us know exactly what's being said rather than... Okay. Y4. Let's see if we can go. I see Y8 here. Our Y4 may be right down here in this area somewhere. Since we got S's all up through here. They go to Y3 and the YS. Okay. Uh-oh. There it go. So that's why I connected the Y3 and the Y4 together. And this actually looked like the same symbol over here. Oh, man, I'm learning while I'm teaching. See this here? The same expression here. But when we go over here in these markers, identify. Remember I said it sounds like dealing with something to write? See there? Yep. There you go. Scribe all that right there. And the only reason, now look at the seshet. Now we might end up finding, but that's it right there, basically. But yeah, that's what, and that just come from me, seeing the word sesh, which y'all know it too. Y'all know the word sesh, inshet, sesh, inshet, that's dealing with the demotic language in most cases, and these are actually written papyri documents and so forth and so on. Sesh, inshet, so it's dealing with writing. So I was able to see that. Lucky I was familiar with the actual thing there, because other than that, I wouldn't have known exactly what it was saying, but I was able to identify with it. But this is a cool tool, family, when it comes to navigating. But before I move forward, I want to ask our panel, what y'all think about this demonstration, Moors? Is it helpful?
Islam.
Definitely helpful.
Islam, yes, definitely.
Sure.
Yeah, so I want to go back and show y'all again, because there's more here, and I ain't even going into dealing with tapping into the letters now that we have them on the manifest. All is well, and I'm glad we saw the mystery of the IKR, and that I would have never thought it was found in between the D. Now that got to be straight from the ancestors there, Moorish kid, because I would have kept looking in the I area, but like I said, I had to go and dig, because I knew something wasn't checking out like it was supposed to, and they had it in between another letter. So yeah, I'm just really going through here now. As you know, you can use this Unicode. Some of them have full expressions and statements. Some of them are just regular letters, and some of them are, whether bilateral, trilaterals, are just singular letters. But I love the strokes here. Because these strokes here is going to give us the ability to identify with what we are looking at. So if we see certain letters that look kind of crazy, we can go to our molar tool, and we can also come to this as special text. Islam, I think I had a more was trying to say something.
Islam, yeah, I just got a quick question. It may be relative, it may not be. I'm looking down to the bottom where they have these strokes numbered down to the bottom. I guess they coincide with the numbers that are side to. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, just coincide with the actual, letter. How you say that 17833. You can see that.
Yeah, I see it right here.
So do they actually coincide with these numbers down to the bottom, like the one that one stroke down, and go to the 7? That would be like either the one coming up or the one coming down. Yeah, down there.
But yeah, they showing all of them that correspond to each other, showing where they being used at in each one of the sentences.
Right, okay.
So yeah, it's correspondent from that aspect, but I would go more with the Unicode. You can look at these different strokes as well and see which recognize, you can identify whatever, you see, so to speak. It's just like really using the Unicode, or even a code within the Unicode. I would go into. They're showing certain connections between them. But the thing is being able to identify when you see a stroke and it's connected to a Unicode, basically being able to see these things in documents. The more we deal with this Unicode, is actually like we cracking the code, so to speak, of the hieratic language, as so far as that goes. And that's very important, because that's the oldest language, so we have dispelled the myth of those who say that the hieratic language is lost, and so forth and so on. And it all has to do with basically being able to trace it, through these demonstrations, and see exactly what it is. Now, if they wouldn't have reverse engineered and made everything into markers and symbols, then we would only be looking at hieratic anyway. You see, but unfortunately, we got to make those corrections and keep emphasizing that as we go along, so that nobody don't get it twisted. We're not teaching symbols, as far as dealing with the language, or what they like to call hieroglyphics. We are actually dealing with the we can say reversing the process of the reverse engineering of these letters into these symbols. Some of these things are very obvious, don't look nothing like this stuff, but they was reaching. You know, this is the way they did it, you know, because they didn't want to deal with this. And it said in Mustafa Gadala's book. So they reduced it to these symbols, you know. So that's a whole nother measure. But y'all see, this is a very extensive work here. You can go through this particular work and you can become familiar with the letters just by dealing with this alone. You know, just going into it and, you know, just randomly going into the Unicode and then using your molar tool like we showed you. This is one very, want to get right here into this. You know how I always say our holy prophet, we refer to him as El Hejit Shepses Ray Abtu Ali. You know the T is interchangeable with the D. See, this is Abtu here, right? Now, this is the actual hieratic expression of it, right? This is the marker that they use. You often hear me say, salvation, our God unit, our prophet represents salvation. So when we say that right there, it makes sense, don't it? When you look at Abtu. And this is not dealing with a letter. This is the expression of a word because it's referring to a thing, which is the crescent and the star, so to speak. That's what this is talking about. You see? So the Abtu being referred to is not alphabet as this Abtu. This is the real alphabet here. This is a symbol, you see, that's expressing the word, so to speak. You know, so in ancient Kemet, they dealt with salvation. And now looking at it here, and we say Abtu Ali, we can see our holy prophet, you know, being a servant of humanity, a savior of humanity, and salvation as well. But I just wanted to point that out. But let's go over here to our molar tool and see what happens when we go into N12 or N14 and see what it has to say. It's always good to do that. Let's see, N12 and N14, they more likely connected. Search it. Come back over here, see what we get over here. Oh, there we go. We see the markers already. Okay, we see, yeah. Oh, that's the word that we often see going back to the word Allah as well. That's the I, A, and H. Yeah, Ayah, 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 actually. Abd. And this is actually why they have this crescent moon on the head of Ayah. The Kemetic version of where we get the word Yah, Allah from. You know, there it is right there, connected to Abtu. Make me think about Allah, Ali, and we. Oh man, this is a powerful demonstration. Because Ayah actually goes into the inner being or the inner self. Man, this thing here bringing up some powerful stuff that I ain't even intend to go into, so to speak. You see the connection of, you know, the servant. Yeah, so yeah, we see it N12, N11. Yep, N12. I'm gonna go back up here and go to the N14. Abtu. I'm gonna scroll down. I want to exhaust this to see exactly what they have here first. Okay, we can see the changes up here now with different strokes on it. Okay. Oh, it's a lot over here. We see the N14 is involved. There it is right there. See that? Look at the marker. A lot of these different markers that the ones was identifying with and trying to pull together, because a lot of these things, some of them don't look nothing like the expression, but you can see as time went along, I guarantee you, when you look at some of these other strokes, when you getting into what you call cursive hieratic, and they mixing the cursive not cursive hieratic, but cursive hieroglyphs, and they mixing cursive hieroglyphs with the hieratic. That's basically what's going on here. Yeah. So this would be more of your true hieratic, and this would be more like your cursive hieroglyph that corresponds with this special demonstration. I see what's going on. Okay. So yeah, man, that's a powerful demonstration right there, Morris Ken. What y'all think about that? Anybody have a comment they would like to make? Islam?
Did we get that portion, that dictionary?
Yeah, that talking about that the PDF that I'm going through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the August 5th. Go back to your August 5th. See right here. And it's right down here. We just never really went in depth into it. I touched over it. And this is that document that everybody was trying to download. Remember?
Okay.
Yeah, that's that. Go ahead, brother.
I recall seeing that SP, but I gotta go check now because that's a grant. Because it helped with the work, even what we're doing now, the homework.
Right. And they go to 031 right there. That's been popping up next to the S29. You know,
and you see that symbol that looks like pi in algebra, the pi r square, that with the N11Z1.
Right here, yeah.
The one right there. No,
right.
Yeah, that one right there. Yep. That's used in math.
It's long.
Circumference, pi r square. Dealing with the circumference of a circle.
It's long. And that's also the abt again, too, the abdu. You know, also used here, which is what some people would like to even call, some people would say semicircle. You see, in this area here, but I see the connection between the pi too, Grand Secretary of the State. Also, we can see the word Jah here. Remember, I was talking about Yah in the connection with Ayah. All of them are grouped together here. That's N12. That's actually what we were just looking at a few minutes ago. So this is a very powerful tool here. Just being able to look at these strokes. And that's what we have to remember too, Moors. They have mixed the cursive hieroglyphs also with the hieratic. You know, so we have to be able to differentiate, just like I was able to just then. You know, anytime you see these letters and they look exactly, for example, like this here, when you see them and they look exactly like the expression here, the marker that they have, that's cursive hieroglyphs, basically. You know, so the letter that look as least like the marker is the true hieratic letter, basically, is what I'm getting at. You see? So that's your telltale giveaway. See, like this is true hieratic. This is true hieratic. You know what I mean? But this is more close to cursive, but this is more true hieratic par and cell. So, you know, it's basically being able to identify those, especially. This is the true hieratic here. This again, and this is at the end too. Look like they kind of putting it in order, like where it come through the dynasties. We know this is molar, so they do show what comes as the most ancient and then come into the modern expression of it. And some people shuffle it up based upon who you're dealing with. This is that same symbol that our Grand Secretary of the State was speaking of as pi. Right here. You know, and for those who don't know, let's say, go to the pi symbol, and there you go. You can see the connection. Grand Secretary of the State just showed you that the pi symbol actually comes from the hieratic language. Stop stealing, Rome. Islam.
Right. Islam.
You got, oh Lord, there, look.
It is so.
That pi symbol is actually a letter in the.
Terrible. Look at that. Wow. Good eye, Grand National Secretary. She said, you can tell she had it in her voice. I got you.
Yeah.
There it is right there. This is the
Like,
exact
wait a
one she was saying.
minute. Wait a minute. That's right. And all that stuff we were studying and mathematics. And see, that's another proven degree where it comes from us, you know.
Yes.
And if you don't trace yourself back, you don't know.
That's
You
right.
don't
See
know.
what you're told. Yeah.
And I'm gonna go over here and see. Let's see what the definition for this is special expression, because that's the grand drawing I'm loving about this. When we go over here and we use this Unicode, we can go all the way over here to the actual letter. I'm gonna show you the easiest way. Y'all may be able to type it in if you got this in your Microsoft, but mine is downloaded to my computer in the Google document, so I can't do no typing. I ain't got no search bar up here in this demonstration. So my best bet, being that I'm somewhat familiar with that document in the way that they, even though they out of order, they ain't in abject. I normally go with what I know of the order that they have by the alphabet, the way that they put it in the order. And that's how I get to the letter. So I know this is further up here. And I hate that this demonstration is moving sluggish like it's moving. Come on now. Stop it. I guess Rome might have got mad. They say,
Well.
yeah. Yeah, we got something for you. We finna make it get real sluggish now. Hold
Tell
up.
them to get in line.
Yeah. Let me go up here. I'm just trying to get up here to the and this right here is an actual document that ain't even really connected to the internet, because I downloaded and it's going slow. You know that something ain't right about that. I'm not even doing it in my email. Just give it a second, family. We almost there. It's a tedious process, but it's all right. We got the time. Okay. We're gonna get into the PO document again as well and vet some more of those measures and become more familiar with the letters. But like I said, these are the processes, whether we do it together or alone. You know, we will be, it's gonna sharpen us. It's gonna sharpen us on these particular expressions. You see how I was able to see the word scribe and all that right there just by looking at the alphabet. But that just come from looking at these letters all the time and what we've been through together. Okay. And that's the key. To learn any language, you must become immersed in it. And this is our way of immersion, you know, demonstrating in this E.A.R.S research. So we want our family out there that's watching us. Y'all should thank us for this, you know, because we giving this for free. We ain't charging you nothing. This type of information right here that we giving you right now, you know, they would be charging you, you know, in these different universities, umpteen $1 million. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. We see the end here. We're getting close. Where you at, N12? You know you're up here somewhere. N12, N14. Somebody come out.
Past one.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it on the front, remember? I see the N35.
Right, I thought it was.
You say I passed the N12 on the front of the letter? I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back. Yeah, I'm gonna go back down and see. Because I know it's up here somewhere. I see S12.
Oh, maybe that's what I saw. S12.
Okay, yeah, because that's going a little further out there. M22. Somebody do the little highlight thing and type it in on your side. And type in N12 and see what come up. If y'all, because I know y'all have it in y'all Microsoft. Islam.
Islam.
Okay. And you can tell me where you got it at, what page you got it on, or even show it to us. We'll let you share your screen, Brother Bati Bay. That way I ain't got to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. This thing ain't moving fast enough. Did you find anything yet?
Page 279.
279. Okay, so I'm right here in the right area. Now, what do you see, Grand Secretary of the State, so far? How many do you see there? Because I'm up here at 238. How many definition you see connected to that Unicode?
Only see one of one.
One of one?
Right.
And that's N12? Oh, so that's rare, huh? And what's the definition that they give?
Let me get back over there.
Yeah, because I'm headed there while you getting there. Probably why I definitely
ship.
couldn't see it.
But it has a whole lot of Unicodes after it.
Oh.
That's N12, right?
Yeah, N12. That's right.
I see the semicircle or the arc at the at the beginning.
Okay, that's it. Your marker. So you see your marker. Okay, I'm down here with you now. Let's see. 79. Come on. Get on in there. Okay, goodness gracious, you gonna go right past it.
It's
okay, there it is, right there.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah. So yep, and we can see the actual marker here in the beginning. So it's only one. Wow. We may find more in the other dictionary, but this is good enough for us basically to know, how to get there and navigate. That's basically what I'm trying to show. So we just know in some cases they just didn't exhaust, all of the definitions in relation to dealing with these measures. You see?
Which deity had the ship of
There's a couple of them had it. Ra, Heru had one. All of them had a bark. Tehuti. Depending on what story you go into, they had certain ships. So yeah, we can see what's going on here, and this is actually Kemet. This is Kemet, Kemetu, because that's actually pronounced as a K. This expression here, Kementu. Okay, so that's your sound shift. So a ship, and that we just identified. And this make me think about the celestial ship when you get to identifying with this type of measure here. Because if you ever looked at the celestial ship of the north, if you have the version I have on the front, it's white. You see the ship in the form of the arc, like the crescent, and then you see the deities in that. Y'all know what I'm talking about, Morris Ken?
Yes.
Or
yes,
Islam.
Let's see.
Yeah, I had just had a thought about that boat. I call it a boat. You know what I mean?
That's it right there. You see it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, got all the deities in there.
Yeah. So, we can even see this. This is a powerful demonstration. And also, if you look deeper into a lot of this stuff, family, this thing actually see the stars and all that right there up in there, the boat of 1,000,000 years. So yeah, that's definitely connecting to the boat or the ship, and it goes back to another expression here. If we look closer at all of this here, we can also see the quadratic expression of cycles. Let's see. I'm gonna go on down. It's at the bottom here, because I've been into this one before. See it here? We already showed this portion. See that right there? It looked like one quadrant right there. See it?
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
go
sir.
one quadrant, another quadrant, all the way around. You can see the connection. These arcs is what they call them. You know, you can see it. You can see all the connection to all our teaching and everything all up in here. I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But Rome, we know you got that pi symbol and where you got it from.
And the
It's
arc. The arc
and the
too.
arc. That's
Yep.
right. That's right.
And
Goodness
plus
gracious.
the circle, because the arc is the piece of the circle.
A piece of the circle. And it only makes sense because this is the oldest. So the
Mhm.
oldest is where it come from. The oldest is the origin. I don't care what nobody say. They can call it Greek all they want to. You know what I mean? You can make it mild fry anything. But that's a whole nother measure. So these are the drawers we wanted to point out, being able to navigate with these tools right here. Again, all of this information we are giving free of charge. Only thing we ask is that you offer your heart and mind to get some understanding, and build with us. Hold up, I actually had already downloaded this, thinking I had to download it. So let me open this poll document up because I want it to be moving fluid as we move along through it. And we give honors to the Moors who chose different words and introduce their particular drawings on these in our last session. And we went over a lot of this. Good document to study, and I like this doc. Only reason I chose this document because of the clarity in the strokes. So that when we begin to look at this stuff in these other documents, we're gonna know what it is. So when you see this, you know that this, represents the mouth. You see this, this represents nature in the strokes. This represents, what they would say fingers, but we can also go to the dictionary to get clarity or, more extensive breakdowns. You see, like this is a symbol of the nature root. And it's almost seeming like that ones later begin to try to develop, these markers based upon some of these symbols at a certain time. And not the other way around. How they try to say the symbols produce the markers. The markers produce the alphabet. We actually seeing more like the same thing we've been saying, that a lot of these symbols came, even though they had some that were there, a lot of these other symbols, when they tried to deal with the writing stuff, came later. There it is again. This is confirmation on what we was talking about earlier. Remember, we was dealing with this particular expression here, and there it is, writing. Sesh. Remember, this little divot on the top pointing down is SH. So that's sesh. If you add an E in between the S and S, that's SE, S and H. Sesh. That's what you say, sesh, seshet inka, sesh metoneta, the writing of the gods. So here it is again, scribe. Want to give honors to all of the sesh, that are on the manifest right now. The sessioneta root on the panel. So here it is again. But this is your expression in the actual hieratic. You see? So you can look at a bunch of these different expressions and see what they mean. In other words, this word in hieratic, means land and earth, which is Ta. You ever heard of Tamir, the land of the Egyptians, Tamaray? As a lot of our Nubian family, Ta. You see, T and A, not PT and A. Tamare. You see, Tamari. We can see where they were also showing connections of some of Alan Gardenia's sign lists on how he was trying to connect certain things to this seated man, so to speak. This is their expression of that, as a determinative, so to speak. So certain things you'll be able to identify with, you know, determine it as opposed to alphabet and so forth and so on. Also, this is that order I was telling y'all about. That is not abjad order. When I be going through them dictionaries, I'm familiar with this order, so that's why I be knowing how to scroll down through there and go where I'm trying to get. Because this is not abjad order. However, we did put this measure in abjad order in our breakdown on the words. You know, we put it in abjad order, and we have our abjad version of this as well. We got to put all that in our dictionary by the time we finish. So nevertheless, if you're trying to navigate in the other dictionaries I showed you, they'll have, you know, their alphabet in this particular order. You know, let's see up here, matter of fact, prime example, see it here. This is the order right here. And so me being familiar with the order, I use this just like as if I was going through alphabetical order in the English by A, B, C, D, F, G, but I'm familiar with this order, you know, because most of their stuff, you ain't gonna find it. You ain't gonna find their dictionary in the abjad, or you barely find a list. We had to dig to find a list of letters, you know, in the abjad order. So take that with a grain of salt, so to speak. But again, going back here, like I said, you know, this also gives one the ability. We already went over a lot of these letters in previous classes. So some of these letters we probably remember and identify with, but by us going back into this, we are able to sharpen ourselves up, you know, and use this information, use the knowledge. You know, pretty sure some of us, when we see some of these letters, we know what they are. So let me go further on in this, because we want to get down to some of the lines again. And we see here they got other expressions on. These are different parts, you know, people, places, and things, so to speak, that they trying to express with the symbols. But these are actual words and not letters individually. Okay. So this is why I chose this particular work, though, Morris King, because of the clarity, like I said, in the actual strokes. Because if we were to start off with an actual document, you know, that has not been transliterated or translated, it would be a lot more difficult, you know, starting off. That's more advanced. So we got a lot of our family that went through here and did, you know, this line is fully vetted now. Now that we know this is therefore stated now, it says Jedin Jedim Shimsu Eker, which is an excellent follower spoke, is what they transliterate this. We went letter by letter in our last class, and we got kind of, like I said, stuck on this demonstration, but now we know what it is, and that it is what it is. We accept it as it is. And so the key now is, like I said, being able to identify these particular words. The hieratic, I love the way they isolated the hieratic and put it next to the actual transliteration, because that's how a dictionary and hieratic really supposed to look. They did it in this vocabulary section, because that's how I was going to look, with no symbols or markers next to it. You know, that's what we're trying to produce. So now, if we were going into the Moorish paradigm, then we will find out that Jed, you know, say, speak, speaking, you know, and then we go into our Moorish Holy Quran and look at the ayats that have to do with speech or speaking and so forth and so on. Measures that deal with what we call Shimsu, which means follower. In fact, I seen Shimsu, and you'll see this spelled sometime, S-H-E-M and S-U. So when you see this S-W at the end, it's U, Simsu, Su, pardon self. And so you see Shimsu Heru. If you ever heard that term, the Shimsu Heru, that means the followers of Horus, or followers of Heru. You see, so this is the expression of that. Only reason I can recall this to mind because I done seen it in my year. Let's try to see if we can pull that up. Let's see. See if we're gonna just Google it. Just see what it say. Let's see. Shimsu Heru. Let's go into this demonstration. They didn't get, is it definition? Oh yeah, that's my computer being sluggish again. And they even using the term friends and companions. See, that's good. Nothing wrong with that. Immortals that honor according to the Shimsu Heru, the friends or companions of Horus. You know, a companion would be a follower. You know, so yeah, that's another way. You just go into the thesaurus and you can really deal with it from that aspect. But you know, the Shimsu Heru, you know, but once we become familiar with this language family, that's basically how easy it is. You know, we literally will be able to go into this. In fact, you go into Wallace Budge dictionary, you know, you will find the word Shimsu. Let's see. It's right here, should be it. Yeah, that's it. That's Buzz. We just doing this right here just for the sake of going into it. Okay, and so we got to do the same thing with Buzz because we know the order already. We know it's not abjad. You know, we got to sift through this demonstration based on the orders that they gave. And let me get to the S's real quick. Let's see here. Let's see what we get. I might have passed it already too. Let's see. So I'm way down there. Okay. Give me 1 second here. There's actually 2 versions of this demonstration too. Come on. Yeah, but anyway, like we say, we know the word Shimsu has to do with following. So when we see that from now on, we know what that means. And the more familiar we become with these words, the more we will be able to put sentences together. Like I say, this is our own way of immersing ourselves into the language, into the hieratic. Okay, I think I'm getting close right now. Let me go a little here so I don't bypass anything. Because wherever you put this little cursor on here and click, it actually will jump a million pages if you ain't careful. Okay, that's still P. Come on. Persecute MC. Okay, a little bit more. Come on. See, when we go through this demonstration like this, 2 more, the way that we doing it, we pretty much exhaust all of the definitions that makes us familiar with anything pretty much that we will come in contact with. So if we see something being stated a particular way, we understand, okay, that's the same thing, but sound shifting is being applied there. Now think of all of our people that's going through these texts and they just picking and choosing one. And I'm going to draw from this particular one. You see how much they are missing along the way? If they just want to go with the works of James P. Allen, or they want to go with the works of, you literally got to pull all of these demonstrations up in order to study the language. You cannot depend solely on one. That's what, if we ain't learned nothing else by coming into this special field of dealing with this language, we have learned that, family. You know, you cannot depend solely on one particular dictionary. So if somebody come to you and act like they the end all and be all and they just based on a biased aspect of saying, well, I don't deal with this one, I deal with this, and I don't deal with that one. I deal with that. I'm talking about for us among these scholars. We already know all this stuff got to be vetted. But I'm talking about when you have the one that like to pick and choose on which one they're gonna deal with. No, you actually isolating yourself from understanding, in totality what's going on. Because if somebody come to you with a word and you don't know nothing about sound shifting, you're gonna be lost. Okay. Just give me 1 second here. Islam. Any more want to comment while I'm looking for this word?
Islam. I would just say that even if we're looking at how we got to this point of being on, in the prophets teachers, we have to study more than one religion, and that's how we, cross-referencing all, seeing the unity through them all, but yet realizing that this was the center focus. This is how you get to the root of, most issues. You just don't rely on one aspect of it.
Correct. You know what? I see a search bar. We're gonna come up here like this here. Let's see.
And also, just the thing with the IKR, we don't want to be totally dependent on the highlight thing, because it would have caused one to miss the IKR in the D's.
Yep, that's exactly what we was talking about when we was talking about that the other day. That's right, Grand Secretary of the State. Okay, here they have the Shimsu Ra that's mentioned here. It's another dictionary E. Wallace Budge have. One of the Shimsu Ra, that means followers of Ra, basically. Okay, here we go. Shimsu Heru. Heru Shimsu. Okay. Yeah, the group of the last mythological being of the last divine king of Egypt, it say later were identified blacksmiths of Edfu, and the beings who assisted in the embalming of the burial of Osiris. Shimsu Heru. And there's another dictionary, again, that goes further into the Shimsu, that again deal with the followers of Heru. In fact, Mustafa Gadala touch on them as well. So I just wanted to go in here and vet that out. And again, this is another one of them cases where you're gonna go through the different dictionaries, and you'll see, these are special measures. You see? So this is a powerful demonstration, more. It don't get no plainer than this right here. But let me get back to my Poe document real quick, because we really were trying to get into the aspect of showing, the origin of the this is where we at. So again, notice it says following retainer. And that ain't strange when you look at that word retainer and you think about, the burial process and the embalming and all of that, which is dealing with the mummification process and all of that. So, okay. Again, so when you see this, come on, open sesame. When you see Shimsu, you automatically know that's followers. This is the hieratic expression of it. Shimsu. We already know about the IKR. We see that's excellent. So, being that we was able to go through the dictionary last week and vet all of these up to this point, we can move on and move forward. But before we move forward, I want to ask our panel, is there any clarity that has been brought forth, or do you have any questions as we move forth with using the tools and the methodology that we demonstrate? Islam. Well, all right, it is. Islam, grand man.
Yeah, well, for myself, I see that it's, you got to put forth, kind of like I say, got to immerse yourself into this, because then stuff starts coming out. Just presenting yourself, and understanding, the more you deal with it, so you got to put in time.
Islam. And I like the fact of this drawing when we talk about the excellent follower spoke. You know what I mean? That means somebody that really applied themselves, you know, that really are dealing with and there you go right there too. I see they put it down here. What I was actually looking for earlier. See that there, follower of Horus, you know. So yeah, this is powerful. And they're showing it too. I like the repetition here because the repetition here, you know, follow retainer, follow Horus, follow a company. You know, I'm looking at all of this and I can see the grand connection here. Very powerful. Yeah, we can see it too. The markers that they have up in here in relation to that. So yeah, powerful demonstration. Okay, I'm gonna go back here. Islam, I think somebody
Islam, Sister Kurtabe. Yes, this is very helpful, Dr. Shahid, just to watch you go through the different materials that you have already sent out to us, and to just going through it. For me, it's very helpful, and for me, because I'm like visual and hands on. The more I hear it, long as I can go back and watch and listen to what you've done, see what you've done, that hammer repetition what really helps me. And long as I can go back and listen to it and see what you've done, all of these are powerful lessons and powerful tools that we have to put our dictionary together. And what makes me so excited, I have to share this little bit, y'all. I showed the marks to my grandson, and he say, Grandma, that look like scribble. I say, yeah, it might look like scribble. I said, but that's actually alphabet. I was showing him the K, the way we wrote it in the very beginning, and he was saying, so that come from Egypt. I said, yeah, and really it come from Kemet. We call it Kemet. So he was so excited to listen and look at it, and he come in here a few minutes ago to see what you was doing, and his little eyes just lit up, and that's what makes me. That's why I'll do what I do. Even though I might not get the benefit of it, my grandchildren, my children, my grandchildren, my great grandchildren, they will. And it's just an honor to be a part of this and to have you to take time out. And like you say, you can get this. You would be paying big money. Actually, the average Moorish person wouldn't be able to afford these teachings because they would have it so high they wouldn't want us to get it no way. Islam. So gratitude, God, man. Peace and love.
Islam. We give honors to you, sister. Indeed, very powerful demonstration, you know, because you know, again, no one has ever, you know, they would try to keep this a secret and teach this to in a select you know, what you call it, elite people so that they can use it for their livelihood. You know, we making this demonstration public to the people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so yeah, you're right. We got another line right here. See, these are also going to help us begin to use, you know, even the hieratic and even speak hieratic as a language just by dealing with these lines. If we memorize them, look, Wajet Ibka Keti. And this basically, may your heart prosper, leader. You know, we should be saying that to all of our Moorish kin, you know, in leadership. That should become a common statement. Wajet Ibketi. Wajet Ibketi. You see, may your heart prosper, leader. You know, that's encouragement, right? And we taking this just from dealing with certain statements that are in the document, but let us go into some of the Unicode here, you know, just to vet some of this stuff. Islam, I think I hear one of our Moorish kin.
Islam. I was going to ask. Okay, so that one had the dot underneath the H, and that's why I kind of, because I did this one right here. That was one of the words or phrases. But what is the dot as opposed to the line? You know, underneath the H and the K.
That's a hard H. But you know, it actually tell you up here too. If you go into the beginning of the document, it'll go into the pronunciation of different letters. Let's see here. Because it does aid you in that too. It do give you some pronunciation in here. And our other documents too, as well. Remember, we got documents that go into this, like when it showed the hieratic beside the demotic and so forth and so on. You can see, because remember, there are different H's. See it here? Oh man, it done ran off from me. Don't you go.
Yeah, Dr. Shaheed, wasn't it about 5 H's when we were doing demonic
right.
and heretic to get side by side? Yeah,
That's
it was
right.
yes.
Mm-hmm. And here go all of your measures right here. See? They're actually showing you in the beginning of the document. We went over a lot of this, like I say, in our previous classes, but you know, these demonstrations, see it here? A voiced H, a sound is voiced by vibrating the vocal cords with air force from the lung. That's why I say like a hard H. But remember, we use Egyptian Arabic to be able to express these sounds. You remember that?
Islam. So another question then is, since there's so many different H's, even in the lettering in our alphabet, are we gonna prescribe each one to a different, guttural sound, or how it's supposed to be? Each one gonna have its own specific lettering.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's natural. Like basically right here, we will actually use, what's already on the manifest and put it in there when we isolating the different H's. So yeah, that wouldn't be a problem, and it's actually giving you the description on how to express it. Like certain words in like I say, you're dealing with the expression. We was talking about Egyptian Arabic, that sound shift melody that we created, the leaf ba ta ta jim haka, that allow you to exercise that, the different expressions. Ha, ha, you know what I mean? Ka, ko. You see what I'm saying? You can go into all that. So we know that when we deal with this po expression over here that we were talking about earlier, let me go back to page 31. Stop it. Okay, let me go back a little bit more here. When we go back up here and we place emphasis on it, you actually hear me do it a lot too in our Moorish American prayer. Wajet ifkhati, just like that. Wajab ifkhati, khati. That's how you produce, that here. The K, ifkhati, ifkhati. You see? Wajet ifkhati. Or we can say wajab ifkhati, because this is like an A at the end. Wajab ifkhati, which means, again, may your heart prosper. They're going to tell you can't speak the Egyptian language. We're doing it right now. Ankwajeb Seneb. Majet Ifkatiha. See, when we say that, we know what that means. Majet Ifkatiha. Right? May your heart prosper, leader. That's what we're supposed to tell our prophet. We're supposed to be saying that to the chairman. We're supposed to say that to each other. You see? So, in these special expressions, we see that they isolated measures out in relation to what they are connecting to the glyphs, as they like to call it. But we are more concerned with the vocabulary at this particular point. Nothing wrong with going in there if you wanted to, though, to vet it and say, okay, we already seen U28. We know that from earlier, but let's see F34, just for the sake of vetting this demonstration. We go to F34, You see how it check out? And it makes it so simple. So the more that we do this, family, the more familiar we become with the language. You're able to do just like I did earlier with the word session, then say, okay, I know that dealing with something about writing. A word, or, you know, like we hear the term MEDU. We automatically know that's dealing with words, or so forth and so on. See, there it is. That's your marker there. Here's your hieratic letters. And then we see ib, which is rooted and connected with the word ab, heart. Nearest place you can meet your father, the great God Allah, is in the heart, right? Eb, this is the heart. They have a couple of, well, 2 definitions on it. Same thing. Go back to the Poe document. We see the marker here. We see ib here in this form of the stroke. So when we go back to our tool, let's look. There it is, the exact stroke. We can see it all up down here. Islam. Same thing up here. And even up here, you can see the same stroke. They're different based on the dynasty and the documents that they were coming from. That's what we have to remember. They have never taught us this in the Egyptian community. And that's why many of our people don't have understanding, you know, when it comes to dealing with hieratic, and they just dismiss it. You don't have to know the hieratic. A what? You can't speak the hieratic. You know, that's a cop-out is what that is. Let's go to Z21. Z21. Come on now. Okay, let me get that out of there. See what we get up here. Come on. Don't look like they got nothing in here in reference to the Z21. Let me make sure I got that right. Okay. It's Z1. I don't know where I get 21 at. See there? I'm doing just like the other people. Okay, let me see. Let me get that 2 out of there. There is no Z21, Shaheed. Z1. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got. So this right here should give us something. Is it going to yield us something? Yeah, there we go. Okay, here we go here. Let me go back over here to my Poe document. Okay, we see, and this is dealing with unity and one. It ain't strange too, because this is what, right? That what corresponds actually with the Arabic word wahad. Wahad in Arabic means unity, one. Wahad is where the word tawheed come from. You know, the grand idea that precludes the Islamic monotheism that we talk about in our teachings? Yeah. So in ancient Kemet, it's what? W and A. And this gave birth to the Arabic word wahad. You see? Well, we might as well make that noteworthy since we're there. So here's your stroke here. Let's go back over here to the actual tool and look for it. We can see a little bit going on here. We see the Z1, but it's next and coupled with something. We want to see it in isolation, but it's okay if it's only here coupled with something. We definitely know that that one stroke on the side is most definitely the expression of the Z1. So what we are learning is the Unicode simultaneously along with the hieratic. So yeah. This takes patience, family. You can't speed your way through this. Like the Grand Secretary of State say, reap in a scanty way. You have to apply this. And that's the grand thing. There we go right there. That's Z1 in isolation. You have to apply this. You have to make it applicable. If you don't do the research, you're going to be at loss. You're going to feel like it's just overwhelming. It's tough, you know, because you got to put in the work, family. And can't nobody make you do that. Ain't nobody gonna say you better do it. Yeah, you better get to reading. And, none of that. It is all what you do at your leisure time. So it's on you, not nobody else. So there you go. Again, Z1, all in isolation, vetted, and it is what it is. So let us go back over here now and go to the next letter. Oh, and just since we spoke on the what in reference to unity, we want to show our family this. Okay. Even in the Hebrew. So we can even say that this is what, to those family who are compiling this is a strong definition, ain't it? Because it's Hebrew and Arabic. The word wahad, meaning one, echad, right? It's in the Hebrew and the Arabic. And they both mean one. Just like the Egyptian word, wah, means one. So that's our triunity. That's the triad. Ain't that powerful, Morris Ken? Goodness gracious. All right. So F4, let's go to the F4, which they are using to signify what they call the front. This is cat. You see, so we see here jet, eb, wahat. These different measures that they have put together. F4. Let's vet it. Want to give honors to our Asiatic brothers for this too. Goodness gracious. You can't say the European created this one right here. This come from China here. Make sure I got the right. Yeah, F4 in the Unicode. All right. Okay, let me scroll down. All right, there we go. We got our marker. We have the actual hieratic letter. So there it is, right there. Remember we was talking about the het, that hard H? Brother Bati Bey asked us about that. Right here. This is the first one. And we see that they have how many different expressions of this? Well, that's like one. Oh, they got a lot of them. One. Let's see. Hold up. Come on, scroll down. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's the third expression. All of them still saying the same thing. So it's like 3 of them that we can see here. Cat. Let us go back. See, some people will be just dependent upon this Poe document. But we actually going in here piece by piece and we vetting it. And the more that we do this, again, we become familiar with these hieratic strokes. That's the whole gist of what we're doing. Now let's get into the vocabulary. We already know this is wajet here because we established that from the beginning. We see ib here, right? There's the letter K. I know our family remember the letter K. Our sister Curta Bay was just talking about this, and then we have keti. We see the expression here, keti. I'm loving it. We're going to have to make us some apparel with some of this stuff right here. So again, wajet, it already has a definition here. We went through a lot of this stuff here. We know what keti, represent. We're going to get into that in a second. It says, be whole, sound, prosperous, uninjured. So someone that is not injured, one that is in good health, one that is well, wajet, wajet sanel, wajet, life, health, and prosperity. We got to start being able to speak of our people in such a way. We have to stop being so injured, by the way the West has taught us to think and the way they have treated us. So Islam, that's a whole nother measure. This is one that is not a victim. You see, one does not have a victim mentality. Unqajet Saneb, that statement reinforces that. Islam, you ain't placing the blame on nobody. He hurt me, she hurt me, they hurt me. That ain't the demonstration. So again, as we go on, heart. You see? We have that, and again the K, we already see that K is just a letter K, and Keti. We can just say Keti, kind of silence the K a little bit. We can say Keti, but the K is coming actually out from here. But Hati is leader, honorific title used with the local officials and mayors. It's based on the word that means first or the beginning. So who is the head of the household? Who is the true head? Who is the true leader? Well, it had to be God first. Then the God man. That's linked this will up with the deity will. Hati-I. You see? Hati-I. Wajet ibka hati-I. Wajet ibka hati-I. Powerful. So this is just a draw, and I want to do that exercise, but at this time, instead of going forth, now that we've armed our family with resolution in this knowledge, to be able to deal with it and so forth and so on, we'll end up putting the lesson out there for our family to do research. I want to open up the floor now at this particular time and call forth our Grand National Secretary of the State. Let me stop sharing my screen. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, here we go. There we go. Islamism.
Gratitude. Islam Warskin. First of all, I want to rise, giving all praises to Allah, giving honor to our Prophet Noble Jura Ali, our Moorish American government, giving honor to all of our Moorish kin, our family online, giving honor to our Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate class, and to Act One, and to you, Dr. Shahid, our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, for bringing forth this grand class. And for me, the key was dealing with being immersed in order to be able to learn. And when you were speaking about not taking shortcuts, you got to put the work in. And it just had me reflect on the areas, especially in the different languages that one is weak in. Speaking about self, you've got to make that. This is why repetition is key. But we've got to deal with our own self-study in order to make it a part and a partial, because that part and partial, everything that we have done thus far, we see the connectiveness as foundation to be able to grow even further. So now, for me, now is the time to refresh on Coptic, refresh on the Arabic, refresh on Demotic, to be able to see with a sharpened eye, and also in going back and forth with the various dictionaries to be able to vet. That's going to make us even more sharp when it comes down to being able to speak it, being able to identify it, and it won't be when you make it a part of yourself, then it's not going to be going back and flipping through pages. Where did I see this before? It reduces the time. When you put the time in now to make it a firm foundation and keep repeating and doing this daily, then that's going to make it easier in the long run, and that's with anything else. And, I just want to give you honor for being able to go through these various dictionaries, because just the demonstration in reference to the ark or the pie, and being able to see where Rome got it from is even more clarification that that everything is coming from us. and being able to trace ourselves back is just, to me, like peeling another layer off to make the vision even more clear. So just gratitude to all of my Moorish kin, also to you, Dr. Shahi, for being a great instructor and being able to have the patience and, going through these and just, making sure that everyone is on the same page. I give honor to my fellow scribes. It's just a blessing and an honor, and it gives you even more fire to be able to go in there and do some more work, because the benefit that is not just for the self, but the future guidance of the nation, because this is ours. So gratitude more for calling me forward. It's just a great class, a great blessing. And, we just give honor to Allah and the Prophet for bringing these truths to us at this point in time. Peace and love. If you're speaking more, we can't. Yeah, praise Allah.
Gratitude. You know how this thing is. This old little computer. Islam, and we give honor to you, Grand Ashes, the Secretary of the State, for that grand draw and very powerful measure. Praise be to Allah. And we give honor to all of you for everything it is that you have done and all that you will do. Everything to be done. And yeah, this is a powerful demonstration. We have really clicked into, found the niche of being able to tap into this special hieratic draw, and everything else that comes after this will be even more easier, so to speak, because everything else really came after the fact, so to speak. So, this is a powerful demonstration, and it's just an honor to be here with our Moorish kin, uncovering these things that have been held back for so long. These things that have been kept secret from us. And just being able to give it openly to our people. Because you have, again, many of those amongst our people would have misused a lot of this information. And that's one of the reasons why they be upset with us too. A lot of our people don't know this. A lot of our people get upset with us because we give these truths freely and we give them openly. They say, well, they giving up the adept teachings, and I mean, what we give you, it make it hard for somebody to deceive you, basically. I'm trying to open this thing up while I'm speaking to show you as well, Moorish kin. We just want to give our family notification as well. Your medals, Swift Angel medals, are on the manifest. We just waiting for them to get here so we can get them out to you. And we were trying to find a particular drape, that's unique to us. And what I did, I actually handmade some, so I have to put them on here once they get here. I'm gonna share the screen and show you. They have a dark copy of it, but I'll show you. And the scribes are most definitely worthy of these demonstrations. We still got to do the canvas for you too. I've been waiting to get some update on us, and they done finally gave us some update, and I think they may have touched the United States too as well. So this is our demonstration that will be given to the scribes and all of those who have applied themselves. This ain't for sale. This is a merititious, so to speak, drawing to those who have showed themselves to be who they are, and that's Swift Angels and executive rulers. So we just wanted to get that to our family as well. So you already know, Act 1, the scribes and those who have been on the manifest, will most definitely have these demonstrations. Like I said, it's not for sale. You can't buy it. It's a demonstration that's given to those individuals who earn it. So Islam. I think somebody opened up their particular demonstration. Islam.
I was just at awe at looking at that. I was like, wow.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, I had to put my little hand in. I told you I still got some artistry in me now.
You
You
do.
know,
You
That's so
yeah.
beautiful.
That
Oh
is
yeah.
so beautiful.
I
Oh,
designed it with my hand, and you know I got the government colors on here. We used to seeing red and green, and you may not be able to see this all the way. I actually have it here. I'm trying to pull it up right now in my hand. Let me stop sharing real quick. But what I have here, you probably will, because I don't think it'll change. See the colors on this here? Hold up. Let me hold it back a little bit. All right, come on now, you little computer. Don't you freeze up. You see that right there?
Islam.
Yes, I
No,
have
man,
it red and
No,
green.
can't see it.
can't see it. It's fading out. You
It
keep
faded
going.
out. Okay,
yeah,
I
you got
just took it.
red, blue, and yellow, and green. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, the red.
I see the sash.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Praise the
The red,
Lord.
the blue,
Yeah.
and the green.
Yeah, that's gonna be the drape that hold it up. I created this
Praise the Lord.
the other day.
Good
You know,
gracious.
I don't know nothing about this stuff, man, but I just be trying to get creative over here, you know.
Oh man.
That's
And what it
inspirational
is,
because it's all in them.
and that's right, it distinguishes. And what it is, you see the red and you see the green in it,
Right.
but you see the blue line down the center. And that's the
Praise the
line
Lord.
uniting divinity and the matter, because we know the
Praise the
blood
Lord.
Wow.
is symbolic to what? That's the bloodline, and the land is ours.
Yeah.
You
Woo.
know,
Whew.
yeah, we talk about the mother virtues, mother earth, and all that type of demonstration. So we see a unity between honoring your mother and your father. We see the nationality and divine creed in that demonstration. All of that. So, like I say, and we're gonna have a name bar on the top of it. You know, so we trying to get them demonstration there. We want engraving on them, and we'll have executive rule on the top of that. So we definitely gonna have them to you, Moors. I even did my little. If you look around my neck, I had since I did it, I had put one of the drapes around the neck because nobody had this. No nation have these colors, and they already ours. So we might as well go ahead and
That's
get
right.
into the
Well,
manifest.
yeah.
Islam.
It is long.
Yeah,
Praise the
we're gonna
Lord.
distinguish ourselves from all of them.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
so praise
Gratitude.
be to Allah and honestly our chairman for bringing these colors,
Yes.
you know, of the Moorish American government to the manifest. The red, you know, the green, and that blue, again being the line uniting divinity of the matter.
Mm.
Islam.
It's long.
So they coming more, they coming. They better get my stuff here.
I know that's right.
So I can get it out to our Moorish.
Woo.
Woo.
And so
A blessing.
Islam, you know, that's just another contribution, you know, to send to our Moorish kin.
It's
Islam.
long.
And it's been long in the making because it's been about two years or three at least, just trying to find the right person that has some sense, you know, over there across them waters, you know, that's gonna act right. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's
And
long.
so that's where all that come from. And you know, so praise be to Allah. Like I say, we'll have them on the manifest, and all who are worthy definitely, you know, will receive these demonstrations. Those who put in the work, like I say, your saving power, you know, is identified by your staying power.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The race is not to the swift, but to those who endure to the end, not merely to those who call themselves are called swift angels, but endurance. You know, that's what the tribe of endurance has demonstrated, and we want to honor them first and foremost. You know, 'cause that's what we're doing. You know, we honoring, you know, our government, honoring our officials. You know, you have obtained something great along the way. You know, we ain't doing this for naught. For those who think that we just doing it just to do it, no. You know, when merit is necessary, it will be rewarded. You know, so and it's gonna be a grand draw when we suit up and boot up, so to speak, and we stand on the manifest and represent our nation as it's supposed to be represented. So Islam, we love you. So at this time, we're gonna go to our family and let y'all get y'all drawing, family. Islam.
Islam, Islam. Dr. Didra Nia Kurtubay, I have really enjoyed my class. And Brother Shaheed, I just like to say too, you know, in this class, it without counting you, because you are the teacher, but it just gives me joy to see you teaching us, and then to see how the great God Allah reveals stuff to you, and you learning along with us. That is so powerful. I'm like, the teacher is learning with the students, and it's us five, you read out of the Zooming of a Nation, talking about the five standing for the five highest principles in the land: the hearing, the sight, hearing, smell, taste, all those. But it's five of us. And what I enjoy is, even though sometimes I might not understand everything, and we could call up each other and talk. And then if I still don't get an understanding, when we come to class, it's like Sister Bonnie say, we learn from each other, we draw from each other. And one person might say something, and I'll be thinking, well, I was gonna ask that, but they may ask it or whatnot. It's just like we just like connected, and that just that just makes me feel so wonderful, and to be a part of this. And like you say, yes, I know for me, putting that time in and just going back, studying, and I love the tools that we got. The only thing I'm still working on is trying to learn how to do this computer, and to put it up here where y'all can see. But the material you have given to us, we appreciate all of that. I mean, that is so, we have everything. It's like the prophets say, I brought you everything to save a nation. Now you take it and save yourself. Now I got to take out the time and study this and do this for my children. Like I say, I had my grandson here. His little eyes just opened up, and because he knew about chemic and all, some of the stuff my son been teaching him about chemic and all of that. So it's just, that's what keeps me going. That's what makes me not get tired. That's what makes me not give up, even though sometimes it is a challenge. Now I ain't gonna say it's not, because sometimes it is a challenge. But when we all come together, it's like I get a better understanding of it. All of us, with all of us chiming in, and you saying what you got to say, Dr. Hosepsu saying what she got to say, but Dr. Bati Bay and Brother Edwards Bay, they chiming in. It just like it all's come together. So I just love my little class, and I love what I'm doing. And gratitude, God, man, for being able to let me brag to my children, to tell them grandma's in school. So you got to learn, you got to enjoy going to school too. It's love, gratitude.
Can't hear you if you speak.
Hey,
Islam, gratitude, and we give honors to all of you. Thank you, Morris, for all that you do, and everybody that is, again, demonstrated their staying power. Like you say, that five, and we the five that held with the two that held. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah. Five failed, they say, but we the five that held with the two that held. That mean that 5 and 2 together, that's a complete
Woo.
7.
Oh wow.
That's them postulates.
Is love.
That's honoring everything. That's circle 7.
Is
You know what I mean?
Islam.
Well, Islamism, when we hold that demonstration up, that 5 and 7, it's holistic. Islam. All right. Okay. So let's go into our next more that would like to come forth. And that's 5 and 2, by the way. Go ahead, family.
Islam.
Brother Marvin Edwards Bay. Man, you better what you got going on over there?
Well, yeah, like in gratitude for calling me. Yeah.
Yes.
It's just bearing witness. You know what I mean? Like we are witness. You know what I mean, for the great God Allah. You know what I mean? And like the goddess was saying, you know what I mean, we draw off of each other, and like that 5 is such a perfect, I mean, 7 is the perfect number, but that 5 is such a powerful number, and we see it, being exemplified here in this class, because each of us, You know what I mean? Again, that's the Secretary of State. I mean, she's such a great teacher herself. Every time she speaks, she's teaching. You know, we feed off of that. And each one of Morris here, we all got, like you said, we all have something to offer. You know what I mean? The great God put himself in each and one of us. You know what I mean? And the fact that we're here together, feeding off each other, just propelling this demonstration. You know what I mean? And I'm so grateful for being here. Gratitude.
In Islam, and gratitude, grand man, for all that you do. You know, it's been a long time coming. Like we always say, you know, the way that we bring ones up through these special degrees of unfoldment, it's not even us who are selecting our people and taking them into some dark room or hidden building, you know, but one is going through these degrees as we unfold. You see, that's how we take ones through the chamber, because the chamber is above the neck here. So it's really the great God Allah and that hair from within. And that's where one is being determined whether or not they want to advance or grow or unfold and so forth and so on. Not with a group of men in there with a haze powder. And well, we ain't got to get into all that right there. We know how it goes. But so our Moorish kin, whether they know it or not, the conditions that we come through in life, you know, is what make us adept, what make us, you know, masterminds. Everything that we go through, what we are tried by. And most of us are being tried by fire, but fire is also synonymous with wisdom. So what we go through, experience becomes the best teacher to make us wise. You know, understanding is the rock upon which man builds himself. You know, the Moorish American national, his or herself, so to speak. So gratitude, Moorish kin, and all of those, again, who have demonstrated your staying power. We're going to have to get us some t-shirts that says that staying power is the saving power. We're going to keep rubbing that
I'm
in.
on it.
We ain't going to let them forget that. Islam.
Praise the
Moorish
Lord.
ties. Moorish ties. Islam.
Yes,
Moorish.
sir.
All right, Brother Bati Bey.
Islam.
Gratitude. Islam.
You know, rise and give all man praise to Allah, honor to the Prophet, and honor to everybody here. And one thing that, you know, I give honors to, for the, especially when we're dealing with the government as a whole, you know what I'm saying? And this is a part of the government right here. Is like, if you look back in the days that you read any of them books by Socrates or Plato, and they call these people, they have mastered different arts. Well, that's what we're doing here. You know, we got the calls each and every day of the week. You know, one's mastering certain aspects of it. You are a cross, I forgot what they call it, but it's a cross intellect or something like that, that where you're able to go in, do the research, and bring forth what you know. And so this is just another aspect of it that you know, it takes away that limitation that, you know, that we was taught we can only be basketball players, rappers, or whatever, and we can actually go into, you know, utilizing the mind, you know, and bringing forth, you know, and showing due diligence and see what and show what it brings forth. And this is what happens when we stick together. This is what happens when we stick together and stay strong. You know what I'm saying? And I just give honors for everybody that's here. And Wajadi Hetie. Islam.
That's right. Islam. Want to give honors to the Sesh Neteru. You know, all of the scribes, you know, amongst our people that are accompanying us right now. You know, all of these scribes, because we are truly, you know, Egyptian scribes. You know, we ain't just got this title and demonstrate, you know, without demonstrating it. We actually are demonstrating, you know, being scribes, you know, and teaching our people the right way. And I just want to say, I want to apologize to our family out there who have suffered so much intellectually when it comes to not being able to have a true knowledge of your history. I'm gonna apologize to you for the ones that did us like that. You know, and I'm saying this because we have, you know, I say it all the time. How can you be intellectually illiterate? You know, because we have some of our people that, and we don't say this to attack nobody or beat them down. What we're saying is that we got people out here pushing the Eurocentric aspect of the language, and they really believe that Rosetta Stone, is a decipherment, and they still fail to realize that all of this decipherment is based off of Ptolemaic monuments, that didn't exist during the time of the ancients. So when they figure that out, they'll stop wasting time and really get in these classes and learn the real language, when we talk about the metal ray in Kemet, under the auspices of your Moorish American government. We brought this to you by the will of the great God Allah and our holy prophet working from the plane of soul. Just as our holy prophet put it in the hearts and minds of our grand national chairman, to bring us a flag, seal, and emblem, cherubim and seraphim working, thus the inspiration has been placed in us, to bring, the real Egyptian adept teachings back to the manifest. That's the sole job of this special demon. That's the purpose, so we are continuing on what has already been started, and we are constantly growing, we are constantly unfolding, we are constantly making sure that our representation, is quality. A lot of people like a lot of quantity, but we're dealing more with the quality of the matter. Everything that we do, we're going to do it big. We ain't going to halfway do nothing, and so that's what we want to say to our Moorish kin. We're going to do it like it's supposed to be done.
Islam, Dr.
Islam, Sister Curtis.
Well, we got Leroy Lowry Bay listening through my phone. Leroy, can you hear me? Brother Leroy. Islam, go ahead. They can hear you.
I just give them gratitude for the class and great information. And it's always good in our own language. That way we can tell our own story. And our history and language, all that back together. It was came from my ancient forefathers. Everyone else on the planet, you said all language is one. Came from the mother tongue out of Kemet. Islam, peace and love.
Islam and peace and love to you, brother. Leroy Larry Bay, we give honors to you, grand man. Wajeb Ekete. May your heart prosper, leader. Islam.
Islam.
Life, health, and prosperity be upon us all. Yes, sir. So gratitude, Moorish kin, and we just want to say it's a grand drawing. We got the God woman talking about some get out there and go handle some demonstrations for us. All is well. And we actually paying the honor out that demonstration. Y'all too, Moors. Y'all got to get that little. I know y'all seen the post on the Facebook. She got one of them little things. The little what you call it? I think they call it a medical him or medical he or whatever. But it's a demonstration that gives like therapy, submersion to the feet. That's a powerful demonstration right there. But y'all got to get a hold to that, Moors. That's for the herb health and the healing demonstration.
Islam, Brother Shaheed, do that. Draw all the toxins out of your feet and do the water like turn different colors and stuff when it pulling all the toxin poisons out of your feet. Is that the one you got?
Well, that one, it does bring certain things. You can see little elements, but if you mainly keep a lot of cleanliness, you know what I mean? You won't see a whole lot. You'll see more, if anything, dead skin.
Yeah.
Coming up off of there. A lot of dead skin I can see down there. And then it's warm.
Yeah.
Then the main thing is what it is, circulation. That's the main thing. A lot of people don't know the lower limbs. When we get up in age, you get circulation issues. And so that's actually
Islam.
Yeah, you love that, and she got it in the mail. I didn't even know she was getting that demonstration, and she wanted me to be the first customer.
All right.
He got it for home use only, and the little chair she got. So it was a grand thing to have the honors of her letting me demonstrate it, and it's a powerful demonstration. All I can say, and I'm gonna do that, maybe 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
I always have been eating my little salads. We had put some measures online, but it's a grand thing to put them in between every meal. That's what I've been doing lately. It's a grand draw when I have a urge to want a snack. And other time one would look for, like I say, the sweetest thing on the shelf, so to speak. But we love to go straight to the salad. When we want to eat some little snacks and all that right there. So it make one feel energetic. And got one on a high level of vibration, and we'll see in a few months, in a year from now, the reset that it does for the body. Because I always been pretty healthy, but you know what I mean? We can always enhance the health even more. So
And what is it called again, Dr. Shahid?
it's I want to call it like a medical king. That's what it's called. Medical king. It's called the medical king. And it's a little tub, and it lights up. It got a remote to it too. You got to be careful though, because I did learn the hard way. She was just pressing button. That demonstration with the heating up. I had to raise my feet up at that demonstration. Like, what you got going on over here? You know what I mean? Because she told me I was just pressing buttons. They don't just press the buttons. And yeah, it was a grand drawing though.
Yeah,
we had fun.
So are
That
you
sound
saying King Dr. Shahid?
Yes, it's called the medical king.
King?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Islam.
They got them. They definitely got them on there. You should be. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see. I can pull the exact one up. Oh, come on. Let's see.
Yeah, I saw that on your page, but
It's called a foot spa.
Foot spa. Oh, okay.
That's exactly what it is. And let me I'm gonna share the screen. Let me see. Here we go right now. Present. All right, share the screen. Okay, here we go. Okay, foot spa. Okay, yeah, that's it right there. This is the actual one right here.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that thing right, and it got little wheels. I ain't tell you about the wheels.
Oh boy.
All your feet and everything.
Oh yeah.
I've been wanting to get
I
something.
didn't tell y'all about the wheels. That was the last part. Oh yes, it has wheels that you just roll your little feet.
Definitely gotta check that out. Praise
Oh,
Allah.
Oh, y'all gonna love that right there, Morris King. That's a powerful demonstration right there. So yeah, you gonna love it. It's a foot spa, is what it is.
Foot spa.
So,
Okay.
yeah, gratitude.
Gratitude.
Islam. All right. So at this time, Morris, if there's no other statement or questions or comments, we can close this demonstration out. We already in third heaven.
Islam.
And we just give honors to you. And Sister Curtis Bay, you already know where to take us. Islam.
Islam. January 15, 1929. A warning from the prophet to be read at every meeting. I hereby inform all citizens that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any citizen or group of citizens who hold malicious feelings toward the government or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the government. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by the order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care. The breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection, therefore, unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relations that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Islam, Islam, Islam. This meeting is officially adjourned according to Act 2. Go in peace, Moors. Islam. Great class.
Islam, Islam, Islam.
Islam,
Islam,
Islam.
We love you, boys. We love you.
We
Islam.
love Islam.
Love y'all. Great class.
Love y'all.
Gratitude.
Beautiful measures. Beautiful
Gratitude,
measures.
Dr. Shaheed. Morskin.
Islam. So y'all know we love you over here.
Peace
See
and love.
y'all in Sunday school.
Islam.
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 Turn the page.